Hi there, my name is Laura Grucelski with Network and Action Puyallup Valley. I'm here today with Tiffany Elliot from Sherwood Notary and Consulting Services. Tiffany, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you here and to learn more about your business as a notary.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So tell me, what separates you from your competition?
I think what separates me from my competition is I charge the state rate, $10 per notarial act. I will go to you. I've done a lot of assisted living facilities, for example, so I'll go to them physically. Certain places I will waive, I should say rather, the trip fee, which is 50 cents per mile. Another thing that sets me apart in the consulting aspect of it is my focus is nonprofit. The businesses that exist not to make a profit. For example, museums, theaters, they need advocates as much as for-profit businesses do. And also what sets me apart is my ability to tell your story. What sets you apart from anyone else? You tell me what makes you unique, and I have the ability, proven ability, over 20 years of the ability to help share with other people why you're so different. When I was the editor of Lake Tapps Living magazine, and that was an interest magazine that focused mostly on business owners around Lake Tapps, Washington, we went from kind of scrambling to have a featured resident, because we did a featured resident every month for the magazine. So when I took it over, we had a list of a year and a half deep of people who wanted to be featured residents. And my publisher, Karen Henry, said that she would go to chamber meetings and say, she'd have people come up to her and say, I read your last feature, one I wrote, and said, I want to be a featured resident. Whoever wrote this is great. So it was able to focus not on their business, not the fact that they lived on the lake and had a really big house, although most of them did. What makes you you? And nonprofit is just as invested in for-profit, if not maybe slightly more. And you are part of what you do. And I could tell your story.
I love that. You just sound so passionate about everything. And how long have you been doing this, your notary and consulting services?
Notary and consulting's not been terribly long. I officially launched in August, I should say rather. I spent most of that year getting the paperwork, figuring it out. But I have 20 years of writing experience, of making connections. I have a bachelor's in interdisciplinary arts and sciences communications from the University of Washington. I've been a columnist, a freelance writer for Puyallup Herald, Federal Way Mirror, editor of Lake Tapps Living magazine for 3.5 years. So I'm used to making connections, talking to the right people, and telling people stories, and making those friends over the long term. I mean, I'll still talk to people I knew from magazines, from old jobs. So I'm used to making long-term relationships and being able to tell different stories. And that especially I should say rather, works with grant writing, because also another thing is grant writing. The basic building blocks of that also are research, connections, and what makes you unique. And that's what I specialize in. I've been doing it for quite some time now.
Awesome. So do you have a favorite customer service story that you can share with us today?
Let's see. One of my favorite customer service stories. I was working at Alfie's. Used to be down in East Maine, as Italian pizza and Italian, kind of sort of. And there was a lady who came in and she wanted red sauce, but it was really kind of rough on her. And I said it's the same way. And I recommended another one, which was sweet Italiano, which I liked, because although the Alfie's red sauce wasn't as acidic, it did kind of give me some indigestion. I said, well, this one usually doesn't. Try this. And gave her some spaghetti or something like that with sweet Italiano sauce. Didn't really hear anything from her. Just went on with our lives. About 5 or 6 days later, she comes in to me and says, I've been sick. I haven't been able to hold anything down for like 2 or 3 days. When you recommended that was the first time I've been able to hold down something. And to me, that was really special, because I took the time, even in that setting, to figure out what she wanted, and instead of pushing a product, said, well, maybe this would work for you. And of course, wanted to make a sale, because when you're in retail, that's what you do, but really tried to focus on her and her needs. And that's something I've carried out throughout my entire life as a writer in customer service, and now in grant writing and notary. It's what is your need? And especially with Notary doing power of attorney, especially for seniors, that could be a challenge. And it's just assuring them nothing's going to change. This just makes it legal. You're going to be fine. And it's just people who are in a new phase of their lives. And I found people in a new phase of their lives just becoming dependent on other people legally. And that's scary. It really is. And there's one, I was assuring her it was going to be fine. And they thanked me a lot for doing that. So it's a level of compassion I try to put into everything I do.
I love that. Well, Tiffany, I really do appreciate you taking the time to allow me to learn more about what you do and your services that you offer at Sherwood Notary and Consulting. It has been such a pleasure to learn more about you, and I'm so grateful for having had this time together.
Thank you.
Thank you
This was
so much.
great.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for your time. Could you share with us the best way to reach you if anyone wanted to use your services?
Oh, absolutely. The best way to reach me is my cell phone by far, 253-380-8191. I could also be reached at my business email, tiffany.sherwoodnc@gmail.com. And that's all going to be on the website. I also text. So if you want to text me something, just let me know who you are. So, I don't think it's spam or something like that. Then I'll contact you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. Take care.
You too. Thanks.